Mets baseball on Locked Up Sports starts now.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports. The New York Mets 6-1 winners this afternoon in a matinee out of Citi Field over the San Diego Padres. They've won 3 out of 4 following the 8-game losing streak. They took 2 of 3 in the series from the Padres, and it was a big game for the Padres, a big series for the Padres as well. So good vibes now with the Mets. They may have just hit their stride just in time, just to turn this thing around enough to get into October. The start today, well, there was a couple of them. Jonah Tong, number 1 as far as I'm concerned. He pitched 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks. It was brilliant pitching, and he probably could have went longer. I would have liked to see him go a little bit longer, but the bullpen came in, did their job. They got it to Diaz, who closed it out, even though it wasn't a save situation. He was able to go in there and get a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Mets win 6-1. They take 2 of 3. The bats have gotten red hot at the right time, probably just enough time, just in time to turn this thing around after that 8-game losing streak. And another game or 2 of that streak, and we'd be in a different situation right now. But the bats have turned around. They hit 10 home runs against the Padres in this 3-game series. That's the most they've ever hit at home in a 3-game series against anybody. So, they really woke it up. Peters hit 4 home runs in 4 straight games. He's at 37 home runs in the season. He's got 121 RBIs, second most in all of baseball. So, and Pete Alonso coming around and hitting the home runs like this and really coming through and getting hot is a big story. But let's start with Jonah Tong, who, today, again, coming off of a game where he really got, he got gut punched in his last game. He didn't get out of the first inning. He was not good. He came in here. He heard the people talking about, okay, Senga was good in his start down in AAA. Maybe this is Tong's last chance to make an impression, or he's going to get replaced by Senga in the rotation. Well, he came out and he made a big statement. 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. He gave up a run, but no earned runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. And he was using the fastball all day. It shows his confidence. He was blowing it by people. I think his pitches are tough to pick up out of his hand. That's why they're late on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He used the curveball. And listen, he looked like a seasoned veteran here today at Citi Field, only pitching the 5 innings. Like I said, I like to see them stretch these kids out a little bit longer. Because McLean, they trust into the 7th, it seems like, but he could go even longer than that. Like last time they pulled him out in the 6th, they let him pitch the 7th. Tong today, I would have let him go at least 1 more inning. But they saw enough. They wanted to get him out of there, keep his confidence up. They didn't want him to, lose anything in the process in that extra inning. And they get the win, a huge win for the Mets. They are now 2 games up on Arizona, who has a day off today. They are 2.5 games up on both Cincinnati and San Francisco, who both play later today. And listen, if they lose, they'll be 3 up with 10 to go, right? So it's a big win for the Mets. They've now turned things around, playing very well. As far as the pitching goes, listen, I don't know what they're going to do. Manaea has gone on to the paternity list. His wife is having a baby, so he goes on the paternity list. So it's just like any other job. He gets a couple days off if he wants it, I guess. But not a great time. But he hasn't been pitching great. He pitched 5 good innings the other night though, and that Clay Holmes Manaea thing kind of has worked. Now people are starting to question: are they going to do that with Senga and maybe another pitcher? But maybe they could do it with Senga and Holmes while Manaea is on the paternity list. So 10 games to go. Mets with a 2-game lead. They are looking good because now they have the bottom feeders of the National League East coming in. The Washington Nationals. Mets play well against the Nationals this year. And hey, listen, get a couple wins. It's their last 3 home games of the season. The Mets went over the 3 million mark in fans for this season. Brett was at the game. They were giving out something when they hit the 3 million. I haven't heard from him, so I'm guessing he wasn't the 3 millionth fan. But whoever was, I hope they got something good. I hope they get like season tickets or something, right? 3 million fan, first time in Citi Field history, they should get something good, right? I would think season tickets or at least playoff tickets straight through. And you would hope it would be a Mets fan. That's all I can say. But listen, today the bats have come alive. Nimmo with big home runs. And like we said, Nimmo has gotten a little bit hot here lately. That was a big 3-run home run. The game was 2-1. It was third inning. The Mets got a 4-run third inning, which really put the game away. That made it 5-1 his home run. They added a Pete Alonso sac fly, 6-1. Diaz got in the game. He was good. Brooks Rally pitched well. All around a good series for the Mets. They last night, struggled. They got beat by a good pitcher who kind of outpitched them, and they just got beat. So, but taking 2 out of 3, that's what you want to do. And it wasn't like the Padres are just playing out the string or anything. The Padres are right in it. They're in that second wild card spot. They're still chasing the Dodgers for the division. A lot going on there. So these were big games for the Padres. They brought everything. They threw everything at the Mets, and the Mets were able to win 2 out of 3. With the home run, and they escaped a disaster with Alvarez the other night, getting hit in what looked like the elbow. It turned out that it was his bicep, and he's been all right. So listen, the Mets get lucky there in a situation where they haven't got lucky. I would have hit I was at the game the other night when they hit Alvarez. It seemed to me like they were throwing at him. I didn't, I'm not privy to what's going on. If they were yelling at each other or anything, there was nothing that I saw in the media. But he almost hit a couple players. He was unhappy with Soto, I believe it was, who stepped out of the box. Then he threw inside to him. Then the next batter comes up and it's Alvarez, and he gets plunked right in the arm. And luckily for the Mets, there's no damage done. So now 3 coming up against Washington. Then they go hit the road for 6, the final 6 of the season. It'll be 3 at Wrigley, which I don't know if the Cubs are really going to have much to play for there. The Brewers have obviously clinched the division already. The Cubs are a couple games up on the Padres. They might not have anything to really play for. So we'll see how they play it. Mets are obviously going to have things to play for. They're looking at the games tonight. They're looking at where they're going to be. You just got to go out and win some games. The Mets have now 10 games left. 9 games left after today. 3 against the Nationals, 3 in Wrigley, 3 in Miami against the Marlins. And if you think the Marlins are going to be easy, well, then you haven't been watching the Mets at all your entire life, because the Marlins love to just kill the Mets. They've killed a couple seasons. They put bows on a couple collapses that the Mets have had, and they would love nothing more than to do it again to them. So the Mets got to be careful when they go to Florida. But the pitching, Jonah Tong today, very, very impressive. Like I said, that's a big spot for a kid to come in after being, kicked in the face, kicked in the mouth and the teeth. Just his last start, didn't survive the first inning, gave up a bunch of runs, was not good. To come out today in a huge game in a big spot and put up the zeros like he did is just very impressive. The fastball was working perfectly. He combined it with the curveball, the changeup. He was unhittable today. Getting the strikeouts with the fastball is very, very important for Jonah Tong. It shows his confidence, and he had a ton of it today. The Mets put up a 4 spot in the 3rd inning after the Alonso home run in the 1st. And I also think that Alonso getting hot now. This is the best Alonso we have seen in, probably since he broke the record. Since he broke the, Strawberries record, this is the best Alonso we've seen. And he's hitting home runs, and he's hitting long home runs. That one today was 430-something feet. He hit one the other night that was a towering, long home run. He's hitting 400 tape measure foot home runs, and that is a good sign. Soto, again, is still hitting. Soto stole another base today. Listen, this team has the talent to go as far as they really want to. But the question is the pitching going to hold up with the kids? And can the Mets bats stay hot? Because when the Mets bats are hot, they're like this. They're blowing out teams. They're beating them with the home run, 10 home runs in 3 games. When the bats are hot, if the pitching can be, the pitching's a mess. It's very chaotic, the Mets pitching situation just throughout the season. It's been just a very chaotic, out of sort situation where they're plugging guys in, they're throwing 2 starters, piggybacking, and it's all kinds of stuff. It's nothing, it's anything but stable. Now, you hope that the three kids can bring some stability to the rotation. It's hard to tell if it's going to work because you look at Jonah Tong today, unhittable, looked brilliant today. But then you look at him just 5 days ago, and he couldn't get out of the first inning. Now, Nolan McLean, I think he can be consistent. He's the ace of the staff, hands down. And then when you look at, is Peterson going to, Peterson struggled last night. And he was good early in the season. He struggled a bit in the middle, and now he's struggling towards the end. And they have no choice. He's going to be there. He's going to be in this rotation. Now, when you get to the playoffs, that first 3-game series, you're only going to have really a 3-man rotation. Now, do they dare go with just the 3 kids? I don't think Peterson is really a bullpen type of guy that's going to come out of bullpen and thrive like that. But, it's going to be a tough call. It's going to be a tough call. We'll see how, Sproat pitches, and we'll see how, McLean, I think, has already earned his spot in the postseason rotation if they get there. Because it's starting to look like, 10 games left, 2-game lead. They play the Nats. They should be able to, play well against the Nats. You want to take 2 out of 3. You want to sweep if possible. You'll take 2 out of 3, though. And then the Cubs are going to be tough, but I don't know if the Cubs are going to really be playing for anything. And then the Marlins, of course, are not a good team. They're better than expected, but they are always dangerous, and they're always looking to destroy Mets seasons is what the Marlins are looking to do, and they've done it plenty of times. So Mets win today 6-1. Big win. They take 2 out of 3. They have right now, as it stands right now, a 2-game lead on Arizona, a 2.5-game lead on San Francisco, a 2.5-game lead on the Reds. I don't think San Francisco and the Reds are really good enough to make up this ground. They're not great teams, right? They got hot. The Giants got hot with, and everybody was bitching and moaning because they got hot with the trade deadlines, the guys the Mets could have got, or the guys the Mets gave them. I don't think they're a real playoff team. And that's the problem with this third wild card. I told you, the problem with the third wild card is none of them are real great teams. The Mets are a good team, but they're so inconsistent. I mean, look where we were just a week ago. It was 8 straight losses. It was a disaster. The whole thing was falling apart. And now all of a sudden they win 3 out of 4, and they hit the most home runs they've ever hit at home in a 3-game series against anybody. So it's like I said before, it's going to be a lot of luck with the Mets. Are they going to be lucky enough to hit a hot streak at the right time when October hits? If they do, they could beat anybody. If they decide to go into the slump and they can't pitch and the bullpen is blowing leads and the kids are being kids, then they won't go anywhere. And they'll lose 2 games, or they'll lose a series in Chicago or wherever they are, and that'll be that. But it's going to take luck. And if the Mets, and right now, you see they've turned it around. They've clearly turned it around. This is a different team than we saw a week ago as they were getting swept in Philadelphia. Because now they're confident. The kids are pitching well. The bullpen is even holding up, getting the ball to Diaz, and the balls are flying out of the park. So we'll see if it goes. Mets winners today, 6-1. Hey, listen, 10 games left, 9 games left, 3 against the Nats, 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Marlins, and then the smoke clears and we'll see where we stand. But it's looking good for the Mets. They have a 2-game lead. Let's see if the Arizona with a night off, 2.5 on the Giants, 2.5 on the Reds. They both play later tonight. We'll see. Jonah Tong, big outing today. Big outing from the kid. Alonso, 4 straight home runs. He's red hot. Lindor's heating up. He got a hit today. Hey, you know what? It's just gonna roll the dice. Get into the tournament. You get into the tournament, and anything can happen. And if the Mets get hot, they certainly have enough power and pitching. If these kids pitch well, and the bats are going, they have enough to beat anybody. But you got to get there first. They're well on their way. 2-game lead. Let's see. You got to take care of business, though. 3 home games left, and then it hits the road for 6. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a mad dash home here. And if the Mets can play well and keep a little bit of distance of that 2 games, I think we'll be all right. But, when it's 2 games, it can tighten up real fast. Mets lose a game, and then Mets lose a game, an off day, and Arizona wins 2, and all of a sudden you're half game. It could get hairy fast. So they got to keep the momentum, keep the bats going, keep the pitching going. We'll see how it goes. Like we said, Sean Manaea hits the paternity list, so he will probably miss the next start that he was going to piggyback, with Holmes. We'll see if they throw Senga maybe to piggyback with Holmes. I'm not sure what they're going to do yet. Nothing out yet about that. But hey, Tomorrow the Nats are in town, and it's 3 more. Final 3 games of the home schedule for the Mets, and then it hits the road for 6. So the Mets passed 3 million fans, first time ever in Citi Field. And I've been telling you all year, it's been a party out there. It's been great. The fans have been great. The atmosphere has been great. It's been a party atmosphere all year. Tuesday night, Thursday night, Wednesday. It doesn't matter when. The fans showed up, and they were really, really good this year. And you know, I was there for most of the games, and it's been a lot of fun out there at Citi Field. So we hope to get it to October where the games really count. So that does it for me. I'm Bob Walters. Final score again today: Mets 6, Padres 1. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.